All right, we're coming up. Hey, everybody, welcome to MCAT Radio. I'm your host, Scott.
And I'm your host, Neil.
So we're here to talk about everything MCAT related, everything MCAT, KFGM related as well. If you want to do your own show, 1015kfgm.org, MCAT.org to learn more about producing your own TV show here in Missoula at your local Missoula Community Access Television. Let's get started. How was your weekend, Neil?
Oh, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
What you guys end up doing?
Oh, hung out a lot. Let's see. We went to Dead at the Roxy on, I think that was Thursday when they were playing that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
From Izzy Rowland of Dropout fame.
Oh.
Yes. So she got her husband Brennan and some friends together to make a movie. And it's about her dead dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like, so the main character's dad dies, and everybody can see his ghost in mirrors except her.
Oh.
So it's a story about estrangement and just like familial trauma and moving on.
Oh, great. What was the movie called again?
It's Dead, but the E is in parentheses, so it can also say dad.
Oh, clever.
Yes.
Nice.
It was really good, honestly.
Yeah, I like those kind of gimmicky kind of movies that are coming out, like the one that's from the perspective of the dog called Good Boy.
I want to go see that. You want to go see that, Scott?
Yeah, we can probably go see that because the gimmicky movie before that was that other movie where was basically from the perspective of the killer, the slasher killer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a part of the movie where it's like you follow the whole entire character, the whole entire movie, and then at the very end, it very much jumps onto the other protagonist, like the final girl, where it's like you see her just being picked up by just a truck driver about like and just talking about the experiences and stuff like that. Even though like the true terror was the monster that might come rather than the monster that already came and killed everyone.
Did I ever tell you about this movie I watched on Tubi? It's called Tourist Trap.
Oh no!
Well, the villain is actor Chuck Connors.
Chuck Connors
of Rifleman fame.
Ooh.
The Rifleman.
The Rifleman. And if you don't know what that is, wasn't that an old '60s show?
Oh yeah. You know, it was like a old Western morality play. Like somebody would blow through town, his son would be like, "Pa, there's a stranger in town," and they'd have like they'd be a good person, but they'd have some kind of trouble following them.
Yeah, sometimes they would be the bad person with good people following them, and it was like a total bait and switch.
Yeah,
it's like you were bad the whole time. It's like I've always been bad.
It was roughly the same episode every time. You know?
Yeah,
somebody comes into town, there's conflict. The son learns a lesson, and the dad, the rifleman, goes, "I love you, son."
Yeah.
Now let's put asbestos on the side of our house.
Well, that's more like Andy Griffith's show. That was more like, let's get that well-to-do asbestos.
Actually, I have one distinct memory of watching The Rifleman when I was a kid, and there was a guy who was like trying to sell them a lightning rod and also asbestos siding for their house.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. No, it was just the lightning rod, and he had a little model, and he's like, of course, this model won't burn because it's made of asbestos.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I mean, the degree of separation between those old Western shows and the actual Old West is kind of like so close to one another, which is why like Wyatt Earp is such an influential part of the film in the old American West, because essentially he's left his wife because he got bored of her.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not split hairs. Yeah, he ended up shacking up with a girl he met who was an entertainer, an actress, stage performer.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone knew everyone's kind of going to Hollywood, everything like the sunshine and everything like that. And he basically, towards the end of his life, he just went there and kind of encouraged those kind of old stories, you know, the OK Corral shootout and everything like that, where we get like movies like Tombstone, 310 to Yuma, and all that kind of stuff. They've been rehashed many, many, many times before in the past. It's kind of great. And, you know, speaking of kind of like, let's blast from the past, if you don't mind me changing topics, is Richard Davenport's new Missoula haunted house.
Yes.
Not to mention, this isn't just one of those things that is just the haunted house, but it's also encompassing family-friendly organization. It's called Fall Fest.
Yeah,
in
I'm
BC,
excited
Montana.
to do that.
They released a story about it. And so the festival has pumpkin patch, bumper balls, hay slide, barrel trains, a petting zoo, giant Jenga, giant Connect 4, rotating food trucks, and even a corn gun. So there's a lot of things that going on there. Not to mention there's the corn maze and maze that they're doing there very much around that time. It's going to be located at 5280 Deshaw Lane. So that's the location where the haunted house, haunted things are happening. And so their haunted house They're going to be doing their Fall Fest runs from 5 to 10 p.m. Fridays, Saturdays, 12 noon to 10 p.m., Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. through October 26th, and all of the Missoula Haunted House runs every Friday and Saturday evening through October 25th. So Friday, Saturday nights, go check those out. It's going to be a fun time, and a shout out to Richard Davenport out there.
Yeah, I remember when I did the Missoula Haunted House.
What exactly is your relationship with Mr. Davenport, Mr. Wells?
I did the Missoula Haunted House in 2017.
And if you get a chance, go to
I'm on the website.
Yes, exactly. If you get a chance, you can see a silhouette, a black figure down a hallway, and that would be our young Neil here. Back when he was still in high school, right? Wasn't that your senior year going into...
No, it would have been, no, was it? It was 2018.
Was it? Okay, so it was about a year after you were out.
No. It was fall 2017.
Right, because it was just getting out.
I was just out of high school.
Just out of high school. That's right. And you got your Beamer that year too.
Yes.
All right.
And that was the first time it broke down. Was when I was working at that.
I remember it was like kind of like. Basically parked over at the Catholic Church in downtown Missoula, right? Wasn't it there for a while?
That was later.
That was later?
This time it broke down in my dad's little parking area when he still had a Missoula house.
And speaking of which, Jack's car broke down in my carport. It's the ignition. It just won't start. He has a fairly old car, too, and it has a Texas license plate on it. So he most likely drove it from Texas. So most likely it's probably not a long-lasting car, but, It is what it is. But my other roommate, she got her brand new car, and it's pretty nice too.
See, but I was lucky at the time because my sister had this like e-bike. It looks kind of like a dirt bike, and its charger was an XLR cable.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which is possible because that's what they use for like cameras to keep them charged. It's like it was like a 4-prong XLR cable.
Yeah, this one was like just 3-prong.
Wow.
Yeah, it just looks like a standard XLR cable.
And for those of you who don't know what XLR is, it is like pretty much the standard when it comes to converting analog audio from an omnidirectional microphone to your audio switcher system.
Yeah. But so I was able to ride that to the haunted house, this like little electric dirt bike looking thing. Honestly, it was fun to ride around.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of things happened last week for sure. We have a bunch of things that just got posted on MCAT's YouTube channel right now. We got Stories and Stones. I'm going to play a clip for you guys. It's from John Catlin, portrayed by Austin Haney, who is a educated leader over at the Historic Museum of Fort Missoula, and if you get a chance, you'll probably see him there. But for the most part, here's an excerpt from his portrayal of John Catlin, one of the people who was famous, who died here and was buried here in the Missoula area. So without further ado, here is that clip.
To form a militia, and every militia company needs a captain. And they came to me and asked if I would be the captain of their company. So, when word came that the Nez Perce were coming over the Lolo Trail, we built a fort in the Big Corral. Nowadays, some folks will tell you that it was 100 foot square, 12 feet high, and impervious to arrows. The truth be told, they got the 100 foot square right, but weren't more than waist high. Not sure it would have done much had it come to it, but it was the thought that counted. We got word at the end of July that the Nez Perce were in the valley. They'd flanked the soldiers at Fort Fizzle. You see, Fort Missoula was brand new in those days, only a month old, and only about 60 soldiers, less than my company in the war, were stationed there. Now, I don't suppose that 60 men are going to tell 800 Nez Perce what they're going to do and where they're going to go. But we had gotten word that General Gibbon was coming from Fort Shaw with reinforcements. And many of the men in the valley, we didn't know what to do. But Nez Perce had come through. They traded at Stevensville. They'd gone through and promised that they'd be friendly and peaceful. And they'd kept their word. Some of the men, we were nervous. We weren't sure what was going to happen. And if those soldiers came, would we help them?
All right, so there's a little taste of that for you guys. If you want to hear the whole story, Stories in Stone is now available on our our YouTube page, MCAT TV Missoula, MCAT Community Media. Jeez, a lot of tongue twisters right there. But yeah, there's some great content for you guys to check out and whatnot. We also did a pretty awesome video through Soft Landing, one that was produced today, just talking about their stories of home and about just building a community and being a part of Missoula. So this is folks who are, for one reason or another, came to live in the city of Missoula from the international areas. So you guys can check that out. It's called Stories of Home.
For, let's say, the Americans, I wish that they can understand if it will be different if United States were the ones that they need to go to different countries, like to open their eyes and to see that we're not bad people, but we cannot judge one person for all of them. I'm not gonna lie that it's been couple times that it's been, or I've been feel like racist because I have an accent, but I love to have an accent. I love to be the person that I am, and I don't want to change it. I love being here, and I'm grateful for being here, but I'm always going to have a Colombian part in my heart. Home is my comfort zone. It's my secure, be in a safe place. It's where I can make memories, sad, happiness, with people that you love. Missoula, especially, is my home. So, because everything that I've been working here since I moved here, it's been a process of like getting better and better and better and better.
Good boy.
All right. So that was a little taste of that. Get to experience some of the people who are kind of just making it work and living in Missoula. Mm-hmm. This is what it is. So, Neil, anything else? Oh, did you read that one Reddit post of that crazy incident that happened around Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Just a couple of people getting out of the hospital. Road rage gets out of hand, and somebody pulls out a peppered gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Pepperball gun.
Pepperball gun.
Yeah. Less than lethal gun, they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I read the news article. Right, and I guess the guy who shot the pepper balls at the car was like, well, they were tailgating me. Which, to be clear, you shouldn't tailgate people.
Yeah, leave a car length behind them. Unless you're on the highway, then you leave at least a good space of 3 car lengths behind someone if you're on the highway.
We here at MCAT Radio say drive safe.
Drive safe. And speaking of driving, are you guys on Reserve Street?
Get off Reserve Street!
Get off Reserve Street now! Hurry! No, just kidding. But for the most part, Reserve Street is definitely a nightmare. If you've ever driven Reserve Street, it always will be. Always has been. And add more lanes, add more congestion.
Yeah. Just one more lane, bro. That'll fix it. That'll fix traffic forever. Just one more lane.
I think MDT determined that 4 out of the 5 intersections just off of Reserve are the worst in Montana in terms of like accidents and incidents that happen there.
Yeah.
Oof, crazy, right?
Yeah.
So what would you do to solve the Reserve Street problem, Neil? Go.
Oh, what would I do? Blow it up.
Whoa, jeez, Neil. We don't condone that kind of action here in the city of Missoula, Neil.
And, like demolition-wise, not like terrorist-wise.
Okay.
Geez, Scott, jump into some conclusions there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Who doesn't love jumping to conclusions like me? But yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, and I know that the city is definitely looking to expand some of their green space for the Southgate Triangle. There's been some outcry to the city of Missoula to be like, hey, it feels like you're not really utilizing people's input for this particular project because you guys feel like you kind of signed this deal way too fast, way too quickly. And that seems to be an ongoing thing, and kind of like a back and forth. And I know that I was reading some kind of article saying that they are planning on giving even more green space of this this area that is pretty much just like an old saw kind of like logging yard that used to be part of the Missoula, Montana rail link before it was kind of acquired by Burlington Northern Santa Fe and all those, the bigger corporation that basically took Montana Rail Link away from the Washingtons. They bought it from them. And so a lot of the assets, a lot of the properties, if you've noticed a couple of the railroad crossings that got paved over, especially off of Russell, when you're going down Russell, that was paved, not to mention the one next to Broadway once you go past Yokes. If you've driven past there, they basically just paved over or got rid of the train tracks in that area. So a little bit easier for some things, but that only happened just because of this acquisition. And but as we get a little bit further, we're going to throw it over to some songs. I wanted to play this song for a little while now. Ever since it came out just this last week, it is the new Sonic racing game. This is from their Crossworlds original opening of their song, and I am very happy to play it for you guys today. So without further ado, here's the new Sonic racing song. This will make people want to drive fast.
It's like that in the initial D music.
Right? This is a good song, dude. The lyrics don't make any sense.
Where's Crush 40?
Right. I like the counter rap verse. It's like, yo, yo, yo. Gotta get those rings, gotta get those rings. Did you watch the Donkey version of this?
No.
Yeah, Donkey was making fun of the song and playing the game. It's really good. Yeah, right? Steal their souls. Like, the lyrics don't make any sense.
You know what happened is they just didn't localize the lyrics. They just gave a direct translation.
Well, they have to rhyme it the best they can.
Exactly.
And the people who rhymed it were just like, oh, I got an idea.
They just did not put any effort into localizing the lyrics. That's
Yeah.
what happened.
Because, this is their typical, you have your intro, then you have your melody, bridge, melody. So this is the second A verse before they go into the bridge.
What anime is this?
It is Japanese, so I wouldn't doubt it. And the fact that they threw it back to the 90s kind of epic music is perfect. Kind of reminds me of I just really like it. It's very catchy. Except for the lyrics. The lyrics are weird.
Not like the lyrics of Supersonic Race.
We'll play that after this. I wonder if the guy who did the Pokemon theme song sang this song. It sounds very familiar. All right, here comes the bridge, Neil. You ready for the bridge?
Nice. This feels like a bridge that would play in a regular show.
Yeah.
It'd be like Benson.
All right. Welcome back.
Steal their souls.
Steal their souls. That's what Sonic Racing does.
Sonic is the Antichrist.
Yeah, the lyrics are just the most ridiculous, ham-handed lyrics of everything. It's like the perfect Sonic song. It's everything you need. 90s nostalgia, like racing beats, just having a good time. But yeah,
You know what I think my favorite Sonic franchise song is Studiopolis Zone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's that one?
It's in Sonic Mania.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's I actually sometimes sneak it into the kids' dance party because it's a bop.
What's it called?
It's Studiopolis Zone, Act 1, I believe. Lights, camera, action.
Act 1 or 2?
Act 1.
Okay. All right, we'll bring that up in a second. But I definitely want to give some props to the Sonic R original soundtrack for Sonic Racing, because if we're going to play the new stuff, we got to play the old stuff.
Yeah, hey, the original Sonic Racing game.
Yeah, the original Sonic Racing game, it controlled terribly.
Like hot garbage.
It was the worst. If you were good at the game, you're good at all racing games from then on, henceforth.
I also like how there's no vehicles. They're all just running because it's Sonic.
It's Sonic. You're supposed to be running, but in Sonic Racing,
He has a car!
he's mostly has a car.
But in one of the older Sonic Racing games, they put the Heavy from Team Fortress 2 in it, and which is really funny.
Well, if you look at the roster, they have Joker from Persona 5. Not to mention, they also have the SpongeBob.
Yeah.
They have SpongeBob in the new Sonic Racing game that you have to unlock. I think you have to pay for it. That's typical gaming these days, where you got to pay for the cosmetics. Yep. What a joke. Yeah, that's why I like the new Silk Song. It's like you get everything right then and there.
It's a complete package.
I'm sure they have some DLC that you can download that will make things a whole lot harder. I'm still on I just got to Act 2.
Okay.
I mean, I've still been kind of lingering on Act 2 for quite some time now.
I just started playing a game called Signalis.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, it's basically a game tailor-made for people like me. It stars a robot lady who's looking for another lady. It's a survival horror that is isometric, top-down, and super retro style.
Okay. How is the gameplay? What is it?
Pretty good so far. It's think of it kind of like Silent Hill or Resident Evil, like the early ones where you have to stop to shoot.
Right. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
No tank controls though, which is nice.
Nice. But the control is easy. You can point in the right direction. It's very like top-down.
Yeah. It's it plays pretty smooth. I've been enjoying it so far. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember the scene from John Wick 4 where they have a very isometric scene where they're just following him from a camera up on top, looking at the different rooms he was going from.
Yeah.
So it's pretty. It's like, wait, it took him that long to actually do it in a movie? That's crazy. There's some great stuff you can cheat and steal from video games that you can't do in movies a lot of times too.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I was gonna promise you guys we're gonna listen to some Sonic Racing, the original soundtrack. This is from the Sega Sound team. So without further ado, here is the original Sonic Racing. Yeah.
Stay. At least the lyrics make more sense in this one.
That's true.
Don't look back.
Do you think this is gonna make people drive faster on Reserve Street? Just like run in place. I wish I had a green screen behind me so I can at least like put something behind me for the viewers at home.
Right. You're coming from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, we have pretty much an off week this week. There's no city council this week because it's fifth Monday. Yeah. Not much happening.
Wonder how many times she says everybody in this song.
Everyone has to listen to this song. Come on,
everybody.
Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody.
Won't let your fire burn. It's the bridge, Scott.
Mm-hmm. It's not even 2 minutes into the song. I got time to look around. The song's 4 minutes long.
And then they got Living in the City. You know, you gotta survive. That's another song.
This is very like one of those like 80s workout videos.
Everybody. I'm putting it in my workout playlist.
Yeah. I'm getting some Frank Stallone out of this one. Remember Frank Stallone's song? He was featured in the Doom Patrol.
Oh.
You know, the Beard Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a deep cut, but
Yeah.
like Doom Patrol was a really solid show when they tried to launch their own DC streaming service.
I mean, honestly, I wonder if that'll like cross over with Peacemaker because like it didn't go too much into the main DC cinematic universe at all.
Yeah. Yeah, there's very little touching of the main universe for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, like you could connect that to Peacemaker.
Yeah, and plus the show and everything around it is ridiculous to a point where it's very much like that show that's all over the place.
I love Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, like
He's
that,
the best.
that was like definitely give him some more notoriety, give him some more clout in the
Yeah, it was part of his
industry again.
comeback.
It was definitely a big part of his comeback. Like that was like a know-nothing streamer,
Yeah.
and like that was like the only thing carrying the streamer. Because listen, I watched Titans. That was a terrible show. It was so dumb. It was like F Batman, F Batman.
I like how they made fun of that in the Harley Quinn show.
All right, that was Sonic Racing, the original Sonic R original soundtrack. ridiculous. Yeah, it controlled terribly, and it was really thought of fondly by a lot of people.
It's a bad game, but it has vibes.
It has vibes, people. If you don't like it, there you go.
Anyway, I hope nobody got into a car accident listening to our racing music.
Yeah, literally, we're just gonna be playing some Sonic songs, so it'll make you want to go fast. And you're
But
listening
sometimes
to
you gotta slow down.
you're listening to 101.5 KFGM, Frenchtown, Missoula, and Bitterroot. And if you don't have any of those, we go on to 1015kfgm.org to listen live anywhere in the world.
Whoa, worldwide.
Worldwide.
Worldwide radio.
Yes, they're the Mr. Worldwide of community radio. And if you want to join the community radio stand, you can learn more information by 1015kfgm.org. Again, that's 1015kfgm.org. All you got to do is come up with a 30-minute pilot of your concept of your show, deliver it, and you can get picked yourself to do your own radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if you're interested in MCAT, we have our orientation and tour and training every Saturday at 10 a.m. It's a great opportunity for people to learn about what an MCAT does, what we do for the community, what you can do for us, because we foster producers, people who want to create things, videos, produce videos, sponsors videos, all sorts of things to do with media in general.
Mm-hmm. And tonight, Blender from 6 to 8. If you want to learn 3D modeling and animation, come on down to the MCAT studio, first floor of the library, where I, Neil, will teach you how to use this open source 3D modeling and animation software.
Huh, what's so special about Blender? It's not like they won an Oscar for it.
But they did make Arcane.
What? They made
well,
Arcane.
Blender didn't. The program was used by a French studio
Right?
to make Arcane.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The French.
What about that
How
one?
dare they make me watch League of Legends?
And then I heard Flo was on Blender. Aren't they an Oscar-nominated animated film?
Not nominated, won. They won.
They
the
won?
They won the 2024 Oscar for Best Animation.
And Flo was one of those movies where like there was no human dialogue
I
whatsoever.
think they had about a budget of $5 million.
Wow.
Which actually brings me to something else here. Did you hear that Donald Trump is revisiting the idea of a 100% tariff on foreign-made movies?
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting
I don't
because
know how that would work because like there's not you don't really import movies because it's all digital.
yeah, that is true. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly the movies that are coming from out of the country.
Right. I'm just saying like a tariff is an import fee specifically, so like you pay it at port.
Yeah,
Right.
And it has a lot to do with the fact that when a lot of studios outsource, Hence, when a lot of people film in Vancouver, British Columbia,
Right.
that's what a lot of Hollywood studios do, because most of them have complained in recent years that they don't have the tax incentives of California, because California taxes people to heck.
Yeah. Anyway, so my point here is that at what point does the movie get tariffed? Because
Yeah.
you can't import a digital property. It's just shared.
I mean, there's definitely some logic behind what you're saying. It also has to do with the fact that the tariffs have gone far in a lot of places, just in terms of the vast quantities of demand, just to make it a lot harder on, the partnerships that have been made and forged over the last 50 plus years, just to have these kind of tariffs. And, tariffs were a precursor to the Great Depression of the 20s.
Well, and then we're also seeing a major cut to our already very slim arts and humanities funding from the federal government.
And not to mention, speaking of federal government, with the government shutdowns, a lot of the Republicans in power are actually looking forward to the idea of using and wielding executive power to close a lot of the non-essential departments in the United States, and basically just completely defund the Secretary of Education, because that's their goal, was to get rid of the education federal department as a whole. But because of the shutdown, they might be able to, in some ways, utilize this to completely shut it down just because of the shutdowns, and then blame the Dems in doing so. Because for the most part, one of the reasons why the shutdown's happening is the Dems are playing the long game and being like, hey, just so you guys know, we are not happy about the way that the healthcare has been dealt with. And with the Affordable Care Act, we want to make sure that it can sustain and have the government help with certain payments and keeping costs low for medical treatments.
Yeah, I was just reading through a comment chain that was talking about how buying power now is even lower than the Great Depression. It was unsighted stuff. But
yeah, I mean, when everyone says it's lower than, I don't believe it, because a lot of times it's like, oh, it's gone up less than last year. It's the same rhetoric. It's the same thing that I hear all the time when it comes to the housing and rental costs have gone down slightly from last year. I'm like, I don't hear that. It's up less. That's the word and verbiage you hear. It's like, oh, rent has gone up less than it has been last year, and that's just it is just kind of ridiculous hearing that kind of stuff. So it's very,
somebody online was asserting that we have less buying power than we did in the 1930s.
But we also have a lot of influence in the international market. So without America as kind of like the backbone, a lot of other countries are probably going to start taking the mantle, especially when it comes to China, just how they're they have manufacturing, they have everything that they need. All the industry that we had in America was outsourced to Canada, Mexico, NAFTA, all that kind of stuff. And, it's just nothing really gets made in America as it gets assembled in America comparatively. So, what else is there? Yeah, it is ridiculous. We were just talking about Hollywood and tariffs and all that kind of stuff, and it's kind of ridiculous. We have tax breaks and tax incentives in the state of Montana. If you're interested in being a homegrown Montana movie, I've noticed that they're starting to anybody who wants to apply for the grants, but the minimum payment that you have to pay for this $1 million grant for the film grant, you have to have a matching of $325,000 to get that $1 million grant. So you got to put your money where your mouth is if you're going to make a movie in Montana.
Producers who will.
Exactly.
There's the thing about making movies is it can be expensive, or you could decide this isn't a financial thing for me, and I'm going to make this for nothing and get people I know to work for food. And you're still paying $10,000.
That's true. Yeah.
But there's the thing is that makes it a lot more doable for people.
Yeah, and then when I get done with the radio show today, I'm going to go home and watch Wick is Pain, which is the documentary about the making of John Wick series, which is crazy because literally I think they said hours before they started filming the first movie, they lost $6 million that they crucially needed, and Desperate Housewife Eva Longoria basically fronted the bill for the $6 million. So she practically saved it. The Desperate Housewife saves John Wick. So it's an interesting documentary about the making and everything to do with that movie, not to mention the whole entire sequence of movies. So Wick is Pain, it came out in May, but I didn't get a trailer recommended to me until today on my reel. I'm like, I have to see this. I'm very excited to see how this all works out, because when I watch the movie, it really feels like after I watch it, it's like my factory has been reset in my brain. It's like, what happened in the movie? All right, they got the dog, and then other things just kind of keep happening.
Yeah. So for example, on movie budgets, I was talking about that indie movie Dead.
Right. With the dad with asterisks around it.
Yeah, Dead with the E, or parentheses around the E.
Yeah.
So it had an estimated budget of $250,000, which, is a lot of money, but when it comes to film production, is absolutely nothing. Most indie films today are $5 to $10 million or more.
No, like honestly, indie films on average are like reaching 65 to 75 million easily
It's
for
getting
American
ridiculous.
made.
It's
It
getting
is.
ridiculous. $1 million is another thing I saw, and it's something that was sticking in my head is $1 million is about $1 million more dollars than I have, and it's still nothing.
Yeah, low budget, from what the internet says, is 500,000 to 2 million. Small budgets, 100,000 to 500,000, and then micro budgets, the 10,000 to 100,000 that you're looking for your Cabin in the Woods movie.
Yeah. Like
Crew size, talent,
talent,
locations and permits, equipment,
food is a big cost.
big costs, catering, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It is a very taxing kind of system, and I wish the luck of the new studio that's being built on the north side,
Yes.
just off of Scott Street.
$40 million.
$40 million, man. And that's the thing about the kind of business and studios in general is like you have to spend a lot of money and expect people to show up for your movie, to pay for your movie, a ticket to ride.
Mm-hmm.
And now it feels like a lot of movies are kind of like backing away from more theatrical experiences to be like, how can I sell out to, Amazon or Netflix or those kind of things so I can get an easy buck. And that's the Sony route. That's what Sony did. Instead of starting their own streaming service, Sony decided to be like, okay, we're just going to be a producer that produces products that people may or may not buy.
Right. Well, and like on that note, I saw somebody arguing recently that Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, whatever, shouldn't be able to produce originals because there's a very famous Supreme Court ruling. Studios can't own theaters.
Yes, but
because it's the producer can't own the means of distribution.
Right.
And that's exactly what streaming's doing.
Yeah, I mean that you got to tell that to Nicole Kidman, who owns a lion's share of AMC theaters.
Yeah.
That's why you see her in every movie.
Yeah, but she doesn't own a studio that owns those theaters.
Exactly. She owns a shareholder part of it, which makes things a lot more muddied in terms of water when you have a publicly traded company, which is also a studio. So you can have shares in that. You can also have shares in all sorts of things revolve around talent companies, people who are. Can you imagine, people who are so famous, they themselves are publicly traded commodities?
Oh, yeah.
It's insane just to kind of think about.
I'd like to buy 3 shares of Scott.
Exactly. And, it's...
How much is a share, Scott? How many do you have?
Probably like 0.0 cents or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing special. And honestly, there is value in being unvalued in a lot of ways because, when
I'm not a commodity.
Exactly. And then you don't have those things where like people want something from you.
Yeah.
You don't have that energy where people are just like always wanting to take from you and take. And you can get that a lot of times because sometimes when you work like especially in customer service is like you're there to serve for your job.
It's emotional labor.
It is emotional labor a lot of times too. But for the most part, it's like you do your job, you get paid for it, and you move on, you go home and do whatever you want. That's the trade-off. That is the social contract we've constructed over the last 100 years to essentially have these kinds of mindsets. Everyone kind of started their own business. Mom and pop shops were very popular, and then people started centralizing businesses. Then we had, downtowns. Then everyone moved to malls. Then malls turned into box stores like Walmart, which had everything, plus grocery store. And then now everyone moved to Amazon because, why would you want to go to a grocery store when you can have food and stuff delivered directly to your house?
Yeah. Well, you wanna
things
know
change.
Some proof of the atomization of society, so less community, is that sometimes here at the desk, I'll be thanked for listening to people.
Yeah.
You know, like, thanks for listening to me. It's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like, lots of people just don't have a lot of that in their life.
I know. I mean, everybody, I think that seems to be the case with a lot of people these days, is that in general, people want to be heard more than they want to listen.
You're listening to MCAT Radio.
1015 KFGM, a show that kind of goes from one place to another and then ridiculous. And we're going to use this time to actually switch over to some music. So we're going to
Studiopolis.
Studiopolis.
Let's go. More Sonic.
Here we go. There we go.
See, I put this one in the dance party sometimes. Keeps getting removed.
We're going to, we were definitely going through a communicative fugue state with our conversation. Just kind of going, just talking about all sorts of like really deep, meaningful life lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, it is kind of like, the social contract is a very important thing.
See, I'm just very confused about how Trump plans to collect tariffs on movies when they are not physical goods.
Yeah.
That, it doesn't really work. Does he, like, charge it at when you buy a ticket?
Yeah.
When you do a subscription to a service that carry?
Well, that's the problem with like international movies coming to America, but also the extra cost of filming a movie in another country.
Yeah.
So whatever benefits they get from like less taxes, that additional tax from America for putting our stuff there becomes an overly complicated mess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you gotta understand that the main person under Trump who is actually running the Hollywood sect of tariffs is John Voight. John Voight is like kind of like the president in that regard, even though he's not actually. Hollywood's like, this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have nothing against John Voight. He's a great actor, but, he's just kind of been around in recent years, and a lot of movies he's chosen has been like, huh. I remember watching a scene with him in the Megalopolis one, the new movie directed by Francis Ford Coppola that he funded himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you pull the old long-term present card out of there?
Oh, yeah.
There's one.
PSA? Or underwriting?
Underwriting. Yeah.
Okay.
It's another good one from Sonic Mania is Metallic Madness.
Ooh.
It's got a sax. It's like.
I also found another song from the new Sonic game that I kind of like. I was listening to a couple of them, being like, oh, this seems pretty cool.
Totally.
It's like the song you want to gamble to, or like drive through like Vegas Strip.
Right.
Apparently they're
This
doing.
whole level's like a movie studio.
Apparently Vegas is dealing with a major drop in
Tourism?
and like people don't gamble.
Yeah.
Like why would they want to gamble?
Well, it's because everything is gambling now.
Yeah. All right, that was Studiopolis Act 1 for the Sonic Mania original song. So, yeah, Sonic Mania. That was a fan game. Essentially a fan game that was licensed through Sega.
Yeah. They basically just went, hey, some Sonic super fans. You're hired.
Pretty much. You never know, because that's the thing about a lot of those, Japanese properties is that they're very much like Japanese properties.
Yeah.
And very...
Nintendo's like, fan game? I will sue you.
Pretty much.
What? You're not making any money off of it? Well, I'm suing you anyway.
Yeah, it can be really ridiculous. There's the same thing with with the kind of like the rip-off Pokemon game, but with guns.
Oh, yeah. Pal World.
Pal World, yeah, that was crazy because they used to have orbs that you can capture with, but then they changed it so it's like a summon kind of thing.
A cube.
Yeah, I know it was it was also like a big thing too where they wanted to like any kind of a monster that you resurrect or whatever like that in any kind of game or franchise, we're trademarking that. It's like, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not cool. What like summoning circles is not the same thing.
My monster capturing and fighting game isn't going to have an orb. You're going to catch them in a dodecahedron.
Yeah, I wonder what the world would be like if everyone accepted Digimon over Pokemon, because at the time, it's very much like my joke was, oh, Pokemon Go, Digimon wins.
I never got into Digimon, but sometimes I still hear the theme song in my head going, Digimon, Digital Monsters.
It's so good. The show is so good. It was so good they remade it the first season. Because if you watch, it's like the first season's very much like, oh, okay, cool. And then they have Super Evolution.
Ganomon, Digivolve into Mega Gun.
And then it like totally broke my brain when they're just like, wait, the Digimon are back in our home world? And then they went back to their Digimon world, and then it kind of like, what was going on here? Okay, got to save the Digimon world because they were gone for so long.
It's just like Code Lyoko.
Yeah. And then they kind of got in a weird space towards the end of the Digimon because they started like incorporating how Digimon would splice with human DNA, and everything got a little bit weird. And they're just like, let's not continue this. And then it basically just abruptly stopped. No, yeah, it abruptly stopped showing, and I was like in middle school at the time, and it's like, hey, what happened to the show? There's less show, and then I just kind of stopped watching just because they pulled it off the air.
You must live, Digimon says as it crumbles to dust.
Hey, you gotta understand, like, I was in a great time growing up in, the kid world, for sure. Like, middle school, you'd have all these kind of rip-off, kind of terrible shows. Like, mine was Beast Wars. That was my first introduction to the Transformers universe. I love Beast Wars. God, Bionicle was fun. I really like Bionicle. That was such a great experience growing up, too. It's crazy that they just don't have the molds anymore, because they did, like, those kind of throwback legendary versions. It's like, oh, you basically just used whatever was available in the basic Lego form. You didn't even have the original molds for them.
Yeah, the molds are long gone.
It's terrible. They should, honestly, they saved Lego, and now Lego's basically just kind of selling out to, like, Star Wars, Harry Potter.
You changed, Lego.
You changed, man. You changed, man. Yeah, it's true. But Lego can do whatever they want. I'm a little old for that. But other than that, I did enjoy it for the most part. The only Lego I have at home is the Seinfeld set.
Yes.
I do like my little Seinfeld set with... Like, it was great. It
was pretty fun.
It was fun, and it was cheap for what it was worth, because I look back now and I see some of the new...
Legos have gone crazy in price.
Legoflation is real, people.
Legoflation!
We gotta stop them right where on the tracks.
One brick is now $200!
Yeah. I did watch the documentary about Legos, the Brickumentary. I thought it was very delightful. And, like, a lot of, like, the Scandinavian countries just like, we're not so sure how to move forward because we're perfectly happy with the way things are. And then, they kind of have a stagnated part of their whole thing. They briefly touch Bionicle.
You remember when we went and watched the Pharrell Williams documentary that was Lego for some reason?
Yeah. Honestly, the best part of it was the way he described how he found music and how he just was able to piece different sounds and tones together like a Lego. Yeah. And I really appreciate that explanation because
the visuals
it's perfect.
Were great, honestly.
Yeah. Story was mid.
Well, I think audience-wise, it probably suffered by being Lego.
Yeah.
Because it was like, who's this for? I mean, I enjoyed watching it, of course.
Yeah. It was a nice, even like passion project by Pharrell too, because it was like, I don't want to do a documentary like anyone's else been doing documentary. It's kind of like that guy who did the mocap as him as a monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't care to watch it just because I've never heard of the guy before. I can't even think of his name off the top of my head.
Andy Serkis, is that who you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the guy who's a singer.
What?
You didn't know the Monkey Man movie?
No, I thought you were talking about Andy Serkis because he was Caesar in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, but they pretty much use the same CGI technology. Let me look it up real quick. Better Man. Robbie Williams' biopic uses Singing Monkey as main character in Greatest Showman director's new musical movie. Boom. That's about him.
Wow.
Yeah. So instead of just his life is being portrayed as him as a monkey.
Did you go and watch One Battle After Another?
No, I haven't yet. Have you?
I haven't. No, I saw it was playing at the Roxy, though.
Yeah, because they were also playing Boogie Nights in 35 millimeter.
Oh, yeah, they were.
So, it's a Paul Thomas Anderson film, and like a lot of people have been given a lot of praise, a lot of great things for this particular movie. It has a lot to say about, like legal and illegal immigrants and stuff like that, because that was the whole point of the very beginning part of the movie where it's like, oh, it's the premise of freedom fighters freeing the people who have been impounded by the government.
Right.
And then it takes, place after the fact where Leonardo DiCaprio's character is trying to live a peaceful life after his rebellious younger days. Mm-hmm. And then it gets even worse because his daughter gets drugged into it, and then he has to reconnect some with his old crazy people from the past while trying to find his daughter at the same time. And then his wife, or I don't know what their relationship is, but it's definitely very weird because from what I heard from the movie, she's kind of like the radical type, and he was just kind of following along with her.
Yeah. Oh, I might have already talked about this last week, but I recently just watched Terrifier for the first time.
Oh, great. The one with the clown?
Yeah, Art the Clown. And, like, I'll tell you something I really appreciate about the movie is that they make the killer clown actually act like a clown.
Oh, good.
He does the whole, like,
That's good.
he
I
does the
like
whole
that.
clown thing. Which, like, the last time I saw that was Tim Curry's Pennywise.
That's true. You're right. I mean, heck, even like the new Pennywise and It with him.
No, he's always in scary.
He's always in scary mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Even
goal
when
is
he's
to-
being goofy and freaky inside the
Oh, yeah,
grave,
his little dance.
like it's not like goofy. It is funny. When I first saw it, I laughed.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
hilarious. And like
a lot of that
didn't
is,
we
like-
see it in theaters
Yeah,
together?
yeah, a lot of why that was so funny was because the camera was like set locked to his head,
Yes.
right? So everything else was moving but his head.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious.
It is really good. I really enjoy It Chapter
Yeah.
1. It Chapter 2 is very forgettable overall,
but-
except for the Richie scene where it's just like, yippee-ki-yay! You remember the part where he gets like, dumb, stupefied?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one part I really recognize.
But yeah, like so many of the killer clown things don't actually do funny clowns.
No.
Or like clowns that are trying to be funny.
There was one season of the American Horror Story,
Uh-huh.
which basically just like there was a killer clown in the show, but then they bring him to a family who are also psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw a clip on YouTube about it, and it's basically just a little girl having a tea party with the clown who has like the killer clown kind of makeup look.
Mm-hmm.
He looks creepy and everything, and everyone treats him like normally and nonchalant. Even the killer clown looks kind of like confused and uncomfortable. Nothing's funnier than when you have somebody who's like a traditional, like antisocial killer clown being forced into social situations. Like I really like how it because it's like the guy who made God, who's the guy who made American Horror Story? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he's a big proponent. He did the TV show musical about the high schooler. Remember, what was that one? The one that was on Fox? It was like a high school musical, but it wasn't High School Musical.
I don't know.
I know. I'm like blanking off of the thing. Like I'm on the spot now.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, Glee.
Oh, you mean Glee?
Yeah.
Okay, I almost said
Yeah.
Glee, but I was like, he can't be talking about
It's Glee. It was Glee. The same person who created Glee created American Horror Story.
Okay.
They did a bunch of other things. They also did like a political campaign show for Netflix. And they do a lot of like teenage, like very apathetic comedy in a way. If you really kind of gleam onto some of their stuff for sure, and it's kind of ridiculous all over. I think they've worked with Lady Gaga in a couple of the American Horror Story series, and it's an anthology. Each new season is a whole new genre, and one of them was like a circus clown.
Anya's been watching Counting On. Do you know that show?
No.
So there was the Duggars, right? And they did 13 Kids and Counting.
Oh no.
You don't know the Duggars?
Or is that a TLC thing?
It's something like that, yeah. But it's,
I'm so divorced from like reality show stuff like that.
It was a show that followed a family that had just an incredible amount of children.
Yeah.
Right, and their whole thing is like they're kind of like fundy Christians where they're like, oh, the woman's job is to have as many kids as possible.
Okay.
Right, and so they just got this sequel show, Counting On, and these are just ridiculous people.
Yeah.
Like the Duggars specifically are ridiculous people.
So like I guess like since they're doing the show, they're probably getting paid fairly well to help take care of their kids. Because if they didn't have the reality show, what kind of job do you think they would have to raise their 13 kids?
So there was some drama about that where a couple of the Duggars who decided they didn't like that because the kids never got paid.
Oh no.
The money went to their dad, who,
Yeah.
Even though they were supposed to get paid, right? And so they were like, hey, we're supposed to be getting paid now, right? And their dad, I guess, just sent them an itemized bill of like, here's all the expenses since you were a baby.
Oh, so he used that against the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a darn shame when you start monetizing raising your kids. It's like, dude, just raise your kids. And what they do after that is to make sure that they're perfectly fine on their own. And when you monetize it, we basically become the capitalistic society that we're kind of like forced to be, even though we're a country of the people for the people.
Yeah.
There's no mention of capitalistic intent in there. So, I mean, in my personal opinion, I think there should be a clear separation of business and state now.
Business and state separate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
That's the
like
chant.
we had this whole thing with church and state back in the day before business became too powerful for its own sake. like, Eastern India Trading Company was bigger than the English Empire, and they constantly oppressed the Indian government.
Krusty Krab is unfair. Mr. Krabs is in there selling his concessions, plotting his oppressions.
Pretty much. Like I was looking on Reddit too. It's just like somebody literally posted all the socialist candidates for the Missoula ward elections.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah.
like, these are the names of the people who are the socialists in Missoula. It kind of felt like reading it had a terse tone and everything like that. I mean, Missoula's always kind of been the kind of place where it's just like, you're not as liberal as the next guy. That's always kind of how it feels sometimes. It's just like, aren't we all like blue? Aren't we all blue here in Missoula? And yet we can't get along? It's like, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should be on the same page, but there's some people who are very...
Well, look, and then, sometimes you'll encounter somebody who, like, has 99% of the same beliefs as you, but the way they present them is just like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Your experience is different from my experience, and that's always going to be the case. Is your values, my values, and regardless of growing up in the same community, because I can imagine myself just as bad being, somebody in the red districts, hardcore, even more so, because it's the only thing I knew, anything I know. It's kind of like, I always like to reference my dad because he comes from a family of like hardcore Republicans, and the one incident like basically said I'm not ever going to vote for Republican ever again was because of Nixon.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, he grew up in that time where Nixon, typically just betrayed the whole nation by, just undermining, the right of the election, like election interference.
Forget the fact that, that is. Like, people did forget the fact that one of Nixon's allies purposefully tried to prolong the Vietnam War so that Nixon could get into office and end it.
Yeah.
Which is, like, horrifying.
Well, I mean, there's even some, like, underhanded work when it comes to the guy who took over after him, the Democrat. Geez. I'm just blanking on everyone's names these days. But, He was the president before Reagan.
Carter.
Jesus, what's wrong with me? I guess I'm getting old. Too much information is pushing out all the old information.
Oh, Sleepy Scott.
Sleepy Scott. Hey, I want some ice cream.
I would love some ice cream.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things with the whole Munich incident that happened. There's like a lot of the people who was on Reagan's side held off those negotiations long enough to make Carter look bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a lot of speculation, but at the same time, this is all political speech. It's all like, they said this, they did this, they did that. It's always going to be this way, and everyone's going to be constantly pointing the finger.
So
I mean,
anyway.
it's the same thing with, the Kirk assassination. I mean, it's only, like, at this point now that we're going on to the next thing. Like, there was also that big shooting that happened at that Mormon church just this last weekend. He's like,
So do you think the government's going to shut down?
I mean, I honestly don't even know. That's the thing. It's like,
I feel like,
I don't even know what. I know that the Democrats, they want to leverage bringing and making sure the funding for the Affordable Care Act keeps going. That was one of their motivations behind it. But I've never really seen a unified front on exactly what they really want to do.
It's because the
overall.
Democrats are like, I mean, they're disparate factions.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and it just have a horrible taste in my mouth of the way they treated my boy Mom Donnie in New York. It's just like, dude, he's a Democrat. Like, he has more progressive ideas, sure, and a lot of the ideas he's gonna try
But
something.
he beat Cuomo.
Yeah, he beat Cuomo.
Yeah, so that's why they don't like him. Is because they beat an establishment guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing about power in general is like sometimes people fear the next generation is just not up to the task, and I think that's it's a very real fear. But
My generation good, the next generation bad.
yeah, I mean, I always think that it's always like a left-right thing, but I've always thought it was like like an older generation not handing the reins off to the next generation.
Yeah, I mean, there's been more and more of that, hasn't there?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my feeling on this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't blame one side or the other.
They call that the gerontocracy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's about it in for our show. We're pretty much wrapped up. I'm going to play another Sonic song for you guys. This is from the new Sonic racing game, Crystal Mine, their first lap.
Yeah, just be careful, guys. Don't drive too fast.
Don't drive too fast. Got to go fast. All right. Thanks, guys. And for MCAT Radio, I'm Scott.
And I'm Neil.
You're listening to 101.5 MCAT Radio.